All right, everybody. I'm not saying climate change isn't real, but if we just wait a little bit longer, like maybe sometime around when Toronto has California type weather, that would be really awesome, for me. Ladies and gentlemen, this is The World According to Kyle podcast, and it is the world according to Kyle, not you. I could really give a shit less about what your thoughts and opinions are on the matter, okay? This is all according to me, yeah. And that's confusing about the climate change topic, why Canadians seem to really give a shit at all, based on our geographical position in the world, and the fact that it's fucking ice cold freezing here all of the time. This was the first New Year's that I've had that it's been that I've actually been able to see green, which, I mean, it's counterintuitive for me, at least, to to want to root to fix something that's causing me to have slightly more comfortable weather. But such is the case, and such is the mystique of the world that we find ourselves in currently. And the thing with climate change that I'm so weirded out by is Canada's like bending over backwards to make all these regulations, so that, I mean, if Canada was the most fucking environmentally conscious and best sustainable ecosystem on the planet, does it even do anything? No, it really doesn't. It's more of if the large populations with the most amount of people that contribute the most to climate change, if they do something, then that has an impact. So for us to bend over backwards to attempt to rectify the oncoming environmental disaster makes absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense. And I hope you guys enjoy the little intro to the show. What it's meant to be is just something kind of non-serious, where I can just have a little fun before the show, like make fun of something, even like, I mean, even if I don't really mean what I'm saying. Like, that's my one little, like, I heard somebody complain about one of the episodes where I said Superman is gay or something, referring to like one of the new Superman was always gay. But have you seen the Supermans with Richard Pryor, with Christopher Reeves? I mean, those were awful movies, and somebody subjected me to them in the thoughts that they would have a Superman in the fucking film, and there was, trust me, there was nothing super about the 80s Superman films with Christopher Reeves and Richard Pryor. Anyways, I digress. That the intro of the show is just kind of like a lighthearted attempt to get into the show, and to just bring up something off the cuff. It's not meant to be taken very seriously. As I'm looking at some of my notes for shows in the future, one of them is going to be like about how I like want to do sadistically depraved things to geese, and that geese are geese are lucky that they don't taste really good. So that, that's the type of level that I'm working at here. I just figure that for the most course of the show, I'm talking about things that are extremely serious. So it's nice to have like a little lighthearted ramble at the beginning of my episode. So excuse the fuck out of me. I don't apologize for myself. As always, folks, you can find me on YouTube at The World According to Kyle, Instagram, KyleMax86, Twitter, Kyleverse, Facebook, KyleMax, Reddit, TWA2K. So this is my 12th little housekeeping. This is my 12th installment. This is my 12th podcast of the TWA2K. It's been going good so far. I can't complain. I'm looking forward to the new year, the 2022. Now, just for my standard housekeeping, right now, my plans for the channel going forward. So what I'm going to do is, this was the 12th episode, the last episode that I promised of 2021. Granted, it is in the new year and it is 2022, but it just happened to be the day that it was most easiest to be able to record a podcast. So that is what I did. For the start of, and this was kind of like good because like I eased up my schedule and like I stopped recording like on a, strictly monthly basis, and I held off a little bit and went like a month and a half, a month and 3 weeks, so I could really hammer some out in December and get a grasp of what it would be like to do week in and week out, which you always want to test your comfortability and your comfort zone, and I thought it went pretty well for doing so I probably did 4 podcasts in the month of December alone, because I don't think I had my ninth. Let me check to be let's check to be for sure. How much podcasts did I officially do in the fucking month of December? I think it's either 4 or 5. Okay, yeah, so I did TWA2K 9, and then 10 and 11 and 12, all in the month of December. So it's still going good. Like, I mean, like, so I was thinking in the new year. So what my plan to for the new year is, I am going to at the end of the new year, I want to be on video. I want to be showing you guys what I am seeing in the articles that I'm going through and the links that I'm going through. That is my plan before the end of the year, is to get off of podcast form and get into video cast form as well as podcast form. I mean, that's for the end of the year. So if all goes good, but in the meantime, my immediate goal is to segmentize almost my previous videos. So I'll go in and I'll start to make clips of the videos that I have, like going through my episodes and okay, this is 5 minutes where I talked about this is 12 minutes where I talked about that, and kind of segmentizing the shows, because not everybody has the opportunity to, or availability to listen to 1.5 hours of me rambling straight. So that's kind of what I'm wanting to do in the new year. So in the new year, I want to make sure I'm segmentizing my episodes so that a day to two after the release of my show, I'm gonna kind of go back through it and section it off into easy to watch, easy to listen to, quick sections about topics. If you just want to hear me wax about a certain topic or hear my opinion on a certain topic or not, then that's my goal for the future of TWA2K channel. If you are one of my few subscribers right now, I very much appreciate you. And we got big things. We got big things coming in 2022, and this is just a start. But I always believe in setting reasonable expectations for yourself and making sure that you follow through when the expectations are reasonable. That's when you have I was always a victim of that before, of setting unattainable expectations for myself, and I thought, and that's a large reason why you fail, because you set a goal for yourself and that you fail that goal. I mean, it's okay to fail in some circumstances, but I think when you're setting goals and limits for just starting something out, you have to be a little more flexible and reasonable in your demands of yourself. I was always pushing more on myself than and like, okay, I can hit this mark. You want to set baby steps for yourself and then progress from there. Do something that's very attainable to start, because if you just start going ham right away, chances of you burning yourself out and losing interest completely are what you have to pay in order to go down that road. And maybe it might work out, and maybe it won't. But these things can take things away from you that you're not aware of, or make you evolve in a faster way, and reduce the because you don't know how the future is gonna go until you actually live it. And if you took something a little bit slower paced and allowed yourself time to develop before just going ham with 3 hours right away, then I think you want a sense of progression in life, even if there is no arbitrary acceptable way of of doing this. I think you want to see progression in life, and moving up towards something, and having reasonable goals, and setting those goals and breaking those goals. So for the podcast, that's all my long-winded way of saying, by the way, for the podcast, in the future, I think we're gonna double the output. So we had 12 TWA2Ks for the year of 2022. I got my flow, I got my methods of doing things, so for 2023, I'm gonna start with a very simple goal of producing and doing 25 podcasts for the year of 2022. And seeing as I've done this is my fourth in 1 month, so doing them at a higher frequency, that's kind of that's kind of where I was going. It was kind of what I wanted to see out of what I was doing. So, how are you guys doing? Did you guys have a happy new year? Did you guys, go and spread coronavirus lots while you were out? I really don't care. I spent my New Year's at home alone. And it's not really because I didn't want to go out or it's because I couldn't go out. It's just because why at this, when you're like me, and you go out, you want it to be a time that's celebratory when there's all this, doing things the COVID way, lingering, and this, tons of cases spreading, then, and everything's like a fucking, all these mandates about this and that. You can't have a good time in that, and I can't have a good time in that, and, until things, get sorted out in a, more reasonable, way, then I'm cool. I'm comfortable at least with spending this year. I mean, I give this to the, to the families who, who knows if this will be their last Christmas together because another family member is, is getting older or something like that. So that's kind of who I take one on the chin for this last couple of years, because I and a lot of people asking me, do I have a grandparents, which and that's why I'm kind of so pro vaccine and pro people getting vaccinated. And no, I don't. All of my grandparents have passed away. All of the grandparents that I have ever known have passed away. But I could imagine, if I did have one of them alive, I would want to do everything possible to keep them alive. And we're gonna get into that later, so I don't want to the reverse of bury the lead. but yeah, we'll get into that. We'll get into that all much later. We just had the conclusion, and by the way, this podcast is not officially brought to you by Lowenbrau German premium beer, because they're just not, the podcast isn't brought to you by them. But that does not stop me from enjoying them nonetheless. Oh, wow, that is pretty good, actually. Once again, Americans, you do not know anything about what good beer tastes like. It's cute, you have your fucking Miller Lights and shit, and Bud Lights, and fucking, oh, hey, the mountains turn blue, but you don't know anything about good beer. Okay. All right. Thank you. So, what happened to me, I gotta go over this story, really have to go over this story. So, I had a situation, happen to me, where, so I was, at a crosswalk, and, I was crossing, the street, after the light turned for me in order to walk across. Like, the crossing man said, okay, walk, motherfucker. And I was just like, I start going, right? And so there's a car, and he's just like, he's just not slowing down. And so I ended up walking all the way over to the driver's side of the car before his hood made contact with me, and I barreled over his windshield and got tossed to the fucking side of the road. Yes, no word of a lie. this is what happened. The crossing man had been lit for at least 5 seconds, and I'm saying that to be to give the benefit of the doubt, like to give even the shred of benefit. Like the crossing man told me to cross for at least 5 seconds. I even let a car who was like, going through while the light changed go through, and then I'm walking, and then like I said, I had enough time to be on the driver's side while the car was turning right. Okay, so I had all the time to walk over to the driver's side of the car. He's just not stopping, and he barreled through me. Okay, so I get chucked to the side of the fucking road, right? And I looked, and I got them license plate. So at first I got up, right, and I was like, I've broken bones before, and I was very surprised that all my limbs came with me. It was on a busy intersection, so I do not think that. So like it definitely looked worse than it ended up being. Like I got chucked to the fucking side of the road, and like I said, I mean, I've broken bones before. I would not have been surprised if my arm was like dangling or one of my legs was fucking not coming with me as I moved to get up. And yeah, so I got the so thankfully there was no cars trailing him, because I was on the I couldn't get up right away. I got splattered. I got splattered on the ground like some sort of fucking like human fucking pancake. And thankfully there was no cars trailing him. Then I would have had to rely on one of them to make sure they stopped and weren't busy fucking updating their social media status to see me, and then I would have got really fucking plowed. So yeah, I got the license plate down. I called 911, and and gangster that I am, went to work that day and worked through a whole shift, and we did pretty good that day. For there was a couple people that called in sick, and those are the type of things where you get hit by a car and go into work, and you still and two people call in sick, and you still have like a good output. You still have a good volume base output. Those are the things that really go a long way. At least I hope. At least I hope at this place they notice things like that. And this is all part of I think, like, besides okay, who knows, like, a lot of people are saying okay, maybe that guy didn't see you. Okay, fucking they saw me, unless they were severely drunk or something, because they sped off after. So they they see my fucking 170-pound ass fucking flying in their driver's side. Like, if they didn't see me, they shouldn't be driving. So they definitely saw me. They definitely ran right through me. They were hoping I wouldn't get their license plate. I did. I'm really hoping this motherfucker gets arrested, because I'm thinking they just did not give a shit, ran right through me, fled the scene, fucking, and I'm glad I'm okay. There are a million different ways that situation could have ended, which have me in a situation that is far from okay, or not okay, or varying degrees of not okay. just thankful that that didn't happen to be one of them. And the reason that I think is just because, like, you know, I thought it was one of those things where, like, you know, I'm just like, you know, it's my walking signal. I'm gonna walk, and you can't. You have to put your foot down at a certain point. You just can't let every fucking every car, you know, 5 cars go past you, and then all of a sudden you're not gonna make it across on time. It's my walking lane. I'm going to walk, and you have to stop for me. That's not my problem. Just like if I take the risk, and if it's if they say it's not my stopping lane, and a car fucking barrels through me, that's on me, you know, and it's their green light, and I walk across and I get fucking smacked. That's on me for fucking walking out in the middle of a fucking road when it wasn't my walk. And that's the fucking, and like I think it was just one of those situations where he was just like, he should have let me go, even though it was my turn to walk. It's like, he should just let me go. I was like, I'm just gonna go, and then fucking ran right through me, fucking tossed me on the side of the road. So you know, thanks for helping me look gangster at work for going in after I get fucking tossed and having to make a police report that somebody hit me with the car before I went into work. But, like, you know, I think this all stems from, like, there's another issue in the city where it's like, drivers always disobey the point of no return. And it's very simple. It's like when, like, to me, if you're driving, you're an idiot if you get caught in the middle of a crosswalk. That's a place you should never be, or, you know, get caught in the middle of an intersection, like, or at any point get caught at anywhere in the intersection, because that's just, you're not obeying the point of no return. Once you go, then that's it. You're the only place you don't want to end up being while you're driving is stopped in the middle of a fucking intersection. That's like a goal of, like, that. There's no way you can be in the right if you are in the middle of a crosswalk or in the middle, or on one side or another inside of the intersection. There's zero probability that you are unless there's an extreme situation where, you know, your vehicle gets chucked to the, like, there's no reasonable reason that you are in the. It's like always these people who they keep going even though there's no open lane, where, like, all the lanes are blocked because there's a red light ahead, and they're just gonna keep going and plugging up the intersection. No, motherfucker, you are not supposed to go until the lane is open, so that, you know, you can fucking get in the lane. The lane isn't open until you see the fucking cars move ahead of you. Being fucking 25% into the intersection is being fucking in the intersection, right? And that's something you should strive not to be. You should strive not to be in the middle of crosswalks. Who are the people who look like idiots? It's the people who are in the fucking middle of crosswalks, okay? You look like an idiot. You miscalculated. You were wrong. And that is your fault. There's no way you can cut it. Like, oh yeah, I was just the reasonable driver, but I happened to be caught in the middle of a fucking crosswalk. That's called the point of no return, as my friend alluded while I was driving her one time to campgrounds. I was like, she kept saying it's the point of no return. I'm just like, what? And like, what are you saying? It's like, oh yeah, that just means, like, we just passed the barrier where you can go back on your decision to go through the light. It's like, yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. I mean, at a certain point, you fucking, you kind of really hit that invisible barrier where it's just like, yeah, now all of a sudden there's no going back. So but I mean, got to keep your head on a swivel here while you're in Toronto. I mean, there are some of the worst drivers in the world here in fucking Toronto. Like, you think about it, these guys just came back from fucking places where there are no driving laws whatsoever, and then you come to Canada where there are too many driving laws, and something's got to give. So yeah, you always have to keep your head on a swivel, which is why it was surprising. It's like, he's like, yeah, I'm still gonna run you over because I know I should have stopped, but I really have to get to where I'm fucking going. Like, it seemed like one of those things. Yeah, Toronto, worst drivers in the world. I would contest it with probably anywhere. Like, when I'm like driving back from from the sticks, when I'm going back home to visit my family or friends, when I'm driving back from the sticks, it's noticeably different. A noticeably different style of driving that you have to undertake. Very noticeably. It's like, it goes from like having to obey every minute detail of every single traffic law that has ever been born into existence to, if you survive, congratulations. So, it's tough to flip yourself from such extremes. You know what? I'm just glad that I don't have the hiccups right now, because that's what I woke up with, and I had fucking hiccups for about 2 hours, 2 hours straight, until I finally stopped, and I just randomly decided to go out and take a toke, and all of a sudden my hiccups seem to go away. So, is there anything weed can't do at this point? I'm not ruling anything out. But yeah, so that was one thing. Took a couple pipe tokes and got my shit back together, So thankfully that worked out, and because you know how annoying it would be me like fucking every 10 seconds. I might actually feel bad enough to have to edit that for you instead of letting this go all the way through. But that's okay. You would have gotten over it just as well as I would, as I would have. Yeah. So that was my morning this morning. Other than not having a very eventful New Year's, that was it. So last night, exactly what you thought would happen in the two college football games between Cincinnati and Alabama and Michigan and Georgia happened. SEC sweep, mind you. So, a little disappointing. Like, if either Michigan or Cincy would have pulled through, and I definitely thought Michigan had a better chance than Cincy at pulling through, that it would have been good for the college football landscape. But I mean, it's still good that they have got there. That Cincinnati, non-Power 5 school, has got there is great, and they didn't make a total fool of themselves. I felt they deserved to be there at least. They didn't let the score run up too high. They were in the game. It was just their lack of ability to get touchdowns, which really let them down. I thought their defense played a good game. If anything, I felt like the play calling was a little bit. It felt like they were the underdog with the play calling, especially the first drive. There were so many runs. You have to capitalize when you have the opportunities. And on defense, the first drive for Alabama, they were just letting them have the run, and Saban. That was a masterful first drive that Saban conducted, and the pass to the tight end to finish it off after he was just shit pumping them, fucking on the with the run game and that's what they had to do. Cincinnati had to stack the box. They had to get that stop because they were getting the ball back to start the half. And they did not respond but I felt like they deserved to be there. I don't know who else I would have rather had besides Cincy, and hopefully their program continues to do well. So with the conference realignment situation. It's going to be interesting to see how this shakes out in a couple years, because the SEC is the dominant powerhouse conference. It would have been interesting to see if they got taken out this year. They clearly didn't, because it's SEC versus SEC in the final. Now, I almost think Michigan should have been the number 1 seed, but you can't really argue if you give it to Bama, because the game that the Wolverines had against MSU, I think that was a bad loss, and then Alabama has the talent plus Nick Saban. I can't. Okay, I would have had Michigan number 1. After that, I would have had Hutchinson as the Heisman. That would have been mine. But I mean, I can't really argue with Bryce Young. I can't really argue with Alabama as a number 1. Clearly, as they have proven time and time again, and it's more of the legacy of them. And kudos to Michigan for even making it a conversation. And I'm interested to see what the program is going to do in the next couple years. I have been really down on the program and down on Harbaugh. And but even though that's been the case, they have still produced good NFL talent, and I don't think that can be overlooked. And so, while they're great at developing NFL talent, that will always ensure that Michigan will be a top conference in a blue chip conference. I just always wonder if they're gonna be able to take it over the edge and take it over the top, and if they will ever have the right tools to be able to do that. And I don't care personally. As a football fan, so a lot of my friends, I grew up in near Detroit. I grew up in the Windsor area, so I grew up with a lot of Michigan fans in my life, and I'm definitely not such a go blue guy where I'm willing to hate Ohio State even when they're better just because I like Michigan. That's not the case. I'm not such a. So what I'm hoping for as a football fan is to just have. You know what I think the ideal situation would be is to have 2 major conferences and then everything else is kind of just like a Div 2 or something. Like you have the SEC and you have the American, or whatever the amalgamation of the Big Ten, the Pac-12, and the ACC will be. Whatever that, I think it's the All-American Conference, or I forget what they were going to call themselves. But they did have a deal between the Big Ten, the Pac-12, and the ACC. And what I hope the SEC does is that it integrates the Big 12, because I fucking love Big 12 football. Like, I think Big 12 is a legit Power 5 conference, and I really don't. I really think, like, for them to get kicked to the curb for like the Oklahoma States, and for the Texas Techs of the world to just straight up get, like, is unfair to them. Because the two top and Texas, let's be honest, is like maybe they're the fifth best Big 12 team of the last of the last 20 years. Like, let's exclude fucking excluding what Vince Young did. How has Texas fucking ever been relevant? There've been like TCU has fucking Texas Christian University has been more relevant than the Longhorns. And yes, this is a horns down podcast. So, not a fucking fan of the move or them fucking switching over. And Tell me it wasn't because the fucking super high powered fucking offenses in the Big 12 and looking bad against your Texas Techs. Like, come on, Oklahoma, what are you doing? It's like you would rather be a fucking peasant in the SEC than be king of the fucking Big 12. Come on. Now the fucking Big 12 has to get integrated here. That is the one missing piece, and the SEC should. So what the best way I would be able to navigate this upcoming disaster is that the Big 12 has to merge with the fucking SEC. Then and they can get whatever independence they want to, even though I think Notre Dame is going to technically be part of the ACC, so they're going to go with the Big Ten Realignment Conference. So there's going to be two major conferences. There's going to be the Realignment Conference, the American Conference, let's call it, and then there's going to be the SEC. Okay, and the SEC has been the dominant force, but the Big Ten, they have the USCs, they have the Oregons, they have all these blue bloods, these blue chip programs that get good recruiting. They have the power to pop off, but the only reason the SEC is the SEC right now is because of Alabama. That's it. Okay. What the fuck happens when Nick Saban retires? He's fucking 70 years old, man. What happens when Nick Saban... Where is fucking this SEC? Okay, you need to accept what's going on here. And that there's going to be two major conferences. There's going to be two major conferences and another division. And you have to accept that. So you have to take on the risk of having the Big 12. Otherwise, you're just not going to have enough talent there, and you're not going to have enough competition there. And while you can get pissed at the Big Ten and ACC and Pac-12 for making this agreement, I mean, you did overstep your boundaries by having, and inevitably this is what had to come. We're going to see an expansion of the playoffs. We are going to see conference realignment, and we're going to see it be into a 3-tier system. There's going to be a Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3. And Division 1 and Division 2 will be considered as, that's like your Pac Power 5 right now. It's going to be a Power 2. It's going to be a Power 2 conferences, and it's going to be 3 conferences. All that matters is that is a Power 2 conferences and a fucking Division 2. And there will be a Division 3 in HSBCUs or HBCUs, historical black colleges and universities. There will be there'll be an underlying division, but in order to get to the playoffs, you will probably have to be either, it'll be essentially 5 conferences now. There will be the main 2, the Realignment Conference with the Big Ten, the Pac-12, and the ACC. There will be the SEC and the Big 12, which hopefully the SEC is smart enough to align themselves with the Big 12 to have more major schools inside of their bubble, to have at least enough to be able to, like, cause say if fucking I don't think you would be able to deny Michigan of the number 1 spot if say they were playing, if say that the roadmap to get to 12-1 was like through fucking Clemson and FSU and Notre Dame and Nebraska and USC and fucking UCLA. If their road to get to 12-1 was through that sort of schedule and not just like Illinois or Kansas or fucking Rutgers, then all of a sudden you're looking a lot better in the eyes of recruits. So we did get exactly, what, people who are hoping for a little bit of a shakeup. But, I mean, I just think the fact that Michigan has made these progressions and the fact that it's not Ohio State that we're talking about in the Final Four, I mean, that is, that's something to build off of. And even though Michigan has been coming up short the last little while, that's something that I don't hate, and that I think that we can build off of, and I think we can. I think there's a moving forward. I don't know exactly when it becomes official that Oklahoma becomes. I think that was that 2024. Is that 2024? Anyways, we're gonna be talking about this lots in the future. Conference realignment. It's very interesting. I think this is a year where there's no clear, clear offensive prospects where you just like, there's just like, wow, these are the cream of the crop. I think this is like a lot more of a level playing field this year, where like I don't think there's no real quarterback that like stands out to me that is just like, I have to have him. Here, let me tell you my fantasy team right now. So I did a sell-off where I sold off some big level assets in order to get draft picks for the future. And so one of those big level assets was Julio Jones. Another one was Aaron Jones. And that's basically it. Like, it wasn't too much. And so right now, here's how my fantasy team is looking. So I have quarterbacks, and it's a 2 QB league of Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Jordan Love, Mason Rudolph, and Teddy Bridgewater. Now, Teddy Bridgewater started most of the year for me, but I'm not expecting that going forward. Now, Zach Wilson has really looked incredible. Like that run last, like I said it's funny that his last name is Wilson because he reminds me of fucking Russell Wilson, man. And those running plays that I seen, that I seen last game where he scampered 50 yards. Man, he is fucking fast, yo. So I gave up. So as you can see, I have Trevor Lawrence. So when I sold all my draft picks, I tanked out in the season, and then I got 2 draft picks for the. I had 3 draft picks. 2 draft picks total for the 2022 draft. I traded those for Trevor Lawrence because, like, I kind of seen the writing that was on the wall, where I kind of seen that 2022 was not going to be like these are some must-have guys that, like, because Zach Wilson, I ended up getting. I had 3 picks that round. I had the first, I had the 4th, and I had the 8th. And so with the first, I went Trevor Lawrence. I almost considered going Najee Harris. But, I mean, I didn't know that Zach Wilson would have been available to me. So I went Trevor Lawrence. Then the 4th pick, I reached on Javonte Williams, which, man, Javonte Williams looks fucking badass. He looks badass. Like, I mean, if he was getting, like, the workload, like, if he was, like, getting a workhorse workload, could you imagine the numbers he would be putting up? Like, this is him on, like, fucking, like, 33%. This is him on, like, 33%, and he's still putting up and he's, like, still the 16th overall running back. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, so I traded for the 2 draft picks for Trevor Lawrence. I got Javonte with my 4th pick, and then with my 8th pick, then I picked up Zach Wilson. And man, Zach, like, I would definitely rather have the quarterbacks out of this draft. Like, even Trevor, like, I think Trevor Lawrence, like, if you put him against these quarterbacks, against whoever, he would still go number 1. And same thing with Zach Wilson, too. Like, Zach Wilson would be number 1 on a normal year. And the last couple games really showed that. And I think Trevor Lawrence is just a victim of his situation and a victim of his circumstance. And honestly, I feel like it's a bit of a combination of that and him. You know, he's not going to give his all in a situation where he's going to look bad either way, which is a smart move. You want to you want to get that good draft pick. Granted, I don't know who's going to be the top wide receiver. They need wide receiver help. They need defensive help. They need offensive line help. They need lots of help. So I don't think they can really go wrong. If there's an apparent offensive weapon, which I would probably hold off. Like, if they can get, like, if they can really shore up their fundamentals, because they have shown good defense and, kind of take what's given to them from, because they got decent tools to work with. They're just never in games because they're so they can go BPA and. Hopefully it's not too much for Trevor to overcome, but I think Trevor has all the right tools in the toolbox. I think it's a combination of him taking it easy, knowing he doesn't have the guys to be able to complete the plays, because he has the most drops downfield of any other quarterback. And on top of that, Robinson's been out for so many games, and fucking ETN hasn't been around. Like, pretty much everything that went wrong for him could have gone wrong. So for him to, like, not be, for him to kind of play his cards closer to the vest for this past year is at least understandable in my eyes. Okay, so yeah. So quarterbacks. So my quarterbacks: Joe Burrow, Joe M. Effin Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Jordan Love, Mason Rudolph, Teddy Bridgewater. Okay, those are my quarterbacks. My running backs: Javonte Williams, as we mentioned before, David Montgomery. I have DeAndre Swift, Detroit. My running backs are a bit lacking. So after that, the depth kind of falls off. I got Donta Foreman from Tennessee. I got J.D. McKissick. I got Drake. I got Trey Sermon, Joshua Kelly. So my running backs are the position for me that's definitely lacking the most. Now my wide receivers, on the other hand, and can you even call him a wide receiver, or is he fucking running back too? Debo motherfucking Samuel, A.J. Brown, Mike Williams, Robbie Anderson, Braxton Berrios, A.J. Brown, or as I mentioned, A.J. Brown, DJ Chark I got on IR also, and Deshaun Jackson. So, I got, man, my fantasy team is young money, man. We are young money. And so I went from being like, from having 0 wins, like I was tanking. That was like when I sold Aaron Jones and Julio, to having a nice, young, up and coming team. And even if I had to move a few pieces, like, man, Debo Samuel, A.J. Brown, fucking Javonte, David Montgomery, Joe Burrow, like, I mean, if I have to make some moves, I can make some moves. So I went from 2 years ago having 1 win or 2 wins to right now I'm 8-6, and I just made it by the squeak of my chin into the playoffs. So not too bad. I'm developing reasonably well, I would say. So, but I did give up those draft picks in order to draft Trevor Lawrence. So now we're almost at an hour right now. Holy shit, time flies by when you're having fun. Well, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna come back and we're gonna finish by giving off some crypto tips. So stay tuned, everybody. Give me 1 moment. All right, and we're back. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but nature calls, and the Lowenbrow was streaming through my system after about the 6th one. So what are we on to right now? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. That's right. Okay. Let's talk crypto. Let's Tales from the Crypto. You remember that? I know you fucking remember that show. Yeah, back when TV actually, when you used to actually look forward to watching television, watch a little Mad TV, watch a little fucking Stewart or some fucking Miss Swan. Hello. or man, that was when fucking TV was in its glory days, for real. And then fucking check out some Twilight Zone or some fucking Tales of the Crypt after. Fuck yeah, man. That was the good old days. So this segment, Tales from the Crypto. All right. Let's go, because I always like to update you guys on what's going on with me in crypto. This is not a podcast where I'm gonna be like crypto every day and here's a shit coin for you to buy and fucking whatnot. We'll update every now and then, and we'll update as we need to. And by and large, my positions since that I gave you since the beginning of the year, by and large, have not changed. Now I've increased. I've reduced my leverage on one asset, and I've kind of dispersed, and I've separated my leverage into other assets, right? Where it's not just it's not just one that's the bulk of my portfolio. Where I have a few other things in case in case worst case scenario happens. And so everything's pretty much the same if you've followed from past episodes. Still, majority of my leverage is on XRP. The second most is on HBAR, and the third most is on SafeMoon. And but I did mention before that I believe I mentioned before that I was buying a little bit of XDC to kind of reduce my leverage. So, like, whereas before I would say 75% of my portfolio was in XRP exclusively. Right now I'm probably at about 60%, and 40% is tossed around between the following cryptos: HBAR, Hedera Hashgraph, SafeMoon, and XDC. And now I kind of have sprinkled another 5% play in, another 5 to 10% play in, which is PropDex, which has made my my bottom half of my portfolio, besides XRP, which turned it into 60-40, because I would say before it was probably at a two-thirds XRP, one-third HBAR and others. So right now I just recently, and this is a bit of a gamble play, if you want to call it that, but it was too good of a deal for me to turn down. Excuse me. And this was one that I had my eye on for a little less than a month now. I had my eye on this for 3 weeks, and it just reached levels that were just I had to if I liked the project and I didn't buy at these levels, I mean, then I didn't really like the project to begin with, or I found some sort of flaws in it where it was just so dirt cheap that if I didn't buy it, then I had to question my own authenticity as a human being on this planet. So I'm just like, can't be doing that, and I ended up buying about close to $1,000 Canadian of this crypto. Well, it's like three quarters of $1,000 onto this crypto. And so that crypto, I don't know if you guys have heard of DAOs before, decentral autonomous organizations, and so if you go over the words decentralized autonomous organization, it is exactly that, where a DAO has the unique properties of like being exclusive, like where I as a holder of this DAO crypto, I have the ability to vote on what it does as a crypto, and it doesn't matter that somebody has more of that crypto than me. Still, it's one vote. So it doesn't matter about who owns the majority of it. It matters on what the majority wants to do. And that's a DAO. That's a decentralized autonomous organization. They decide what's best for it. And so the DAO that I am invested in is Jade Protocol. And it was just so dirt cheap that I didn't know much about the company. The company's been around only since November. But it was up as high as, I think, it was over $1,000 Canadian at its peak. Here, let me pull it up. Let me pull up exactly what the all-time high was, because I have the habit of thinking the Canadian prices are being a little. I have the habit of being a little ahead of my time, because the Canadian prices are different the American prices, right? So, wow, I just said the American prices, right? But the Canadian prices like are a little bit ahead of themselves because because it's 25% more for a loonie than it is for a toonie. Okay, that's fucking all I meant to say. God damn it. Okay, so the all-time high that they have had before was, let me see, $1,108.66. So let's, for shits and giggles, put that into American dollars. So 1,108.66. So, whoa, I didn't put a decimal in there. I did not put a decimal in there. All right, so that's $877 American. Was their all-time high, and since they got created in November, they only have a $1.3 million available supply with a total supply of 2.0 million. So that's the most that can ever become in existence, is 2.0 million. So I bought it. I bought it at $33 because it was something I was considering buying this at $100. So the thing that they are with the Dow is that so it's like exactly like you would run something. It's like what is the fairest way to run something, and that's how they run it. So they recently had a $1 million giveaway where they just asked the communities like, what's the best way to give out this $1 million, and they did so by splitting it like 33 ways. So here, let me just pull up the calculator and fucking make sure my math. 1 million divided by 33. Yes, so yeah, they divided $1 million 33 times, so they gave out $30,000 33 times to 33 random people using a random number generator. On like, it's exactly how you would do something the fucking fair way, like the fair way, right? So I'm attracted to those sort of organizations, because that is like kind of like the future of voting. That's the future of bylaws. That's like the future. That is kind of how I see things playing out. Like a DAO is like the most. Because right now you vote for a douche or a turd, and you got to hope that douche or said turd doesn't backtrack on what they're doing. But a DAO is a way to make things so that they are more fair, so that each vote does count exactly right. So even Ohm, I'm thinking of buying. Even sub $400 Ohm is fucking crazy. But the thing is with that, and one of my close friends, close crypto friends, was telling me that this is a rug pull and to get my money out, because it went down to like $22 Canadian, which is like $18, or like fucking 16 or 17 bucks US. And I said no. I'm just like, he said, get your money out. A lot of people were saying that this was a rug pull. And you see, this is where I get my mad logical Kyle, where I let him out of the cage right now, because you can't just go around saying rug pull just because you lost, just because you bought something at a peak value instead of buying something at a lower value. So tons of people were saying this. Like over 5 people on the internet were saying this was a rug pull. This was not Squid Games. This was not Squid Coin. This was not fucking me. This was not fucking Potato Coin. This was not fucking Inu fucking Nutsack Coin. Okay? This is not a meme coin. Why would you go out of your way to making a coin a DAO to trick people to fucking rug pull them? So I knew once I started hearing the word rug pull that I might have something that's really good. Because if you think about it, Jade Protocol has 1/5 of the circulating supply of Ohm. Ohm, at its very base fucking level, is bottoming out at like $300. Okay, so the way that DAOs work is that when things are when the price is low, you get more for staking. So the APY and the amount that you're getting on your yield for staking, which I think I found out a way to stake. I just bought my Jade protocol recently, and I'm pretty sure I have a way to stake. Right now I do not have the BNB in my account in order to transfer it to the staking Jade, because there's Jade and there's S Jade, and you have to transfer it to S Jade to be able to stake it. And now, so the thing about DAOs is that when you're staking it and it's a low price and nobody wants it, that's when you're getting the most return, and that's when you're getting the most return on your yield. It's like almost as though DAOs are like cyclical, and like a lot of it depends on the market, granted. Like, and if Bitcoin was having a stronger market, and if just cryptocurrency is valued higher because Bitcoin and Ethereum were having a stronger market, then by virtue of that stronger market, then obviously the Jade protocol and these other DAOs are going to be worth more. But the market is slipping and the DAOs are slipping. But that's part of the cycle. And that so to say that is a rug pull, and that this is like a Squid coin, that this is Squid Game coin or some fucking like whack shit like that, is completely unbased in any fucking sense of reality whatsoever. And when I seen these prices for Jade at such dirt cheap prices, that I could not resist. So if you guys are looking to get into a cheap DAO, which you won't have to spend but even if you even if you spent $1,000 or $2,000 and got 5 Ohm, that's not the worst thing in the world, because like I told you, when you're staking and you have your money locked, then you're gonna reap the benefits, and the APY is huge. So like if you're sitting there with like at the end of 2023 with fucking with like 28 or like 30 Ohm from your 5. Because you staked all the way through, and that got compounding interest. It's like so I have studied game theory from Yale University online, and so the how DAOs work is that if you do not sell and you keep staking, that you're gonna reap the most rewards, and that you keep so there's like good variables and bad variables, and the good variables are not selling or not taking out your money from staking. And as long as you hold those and you hold those, and you're good, and you will get massive APY returns as long as you're willing to wait like a year and go through the ebbs and flows and the ups and downs of that coin. So I just think Jade has super high potential. If I had like $10,000 kicking around, I probably would invest in ohms and stake that. But I think Jade was just too dirt cheap for me to be able to say no to. And I wanted to tell you guys about a couple other cryptocurrencies that, or a couple other crypto-related projects that I've been into recently. Now, I know you guys probably use a browser, a web browser, to be able to search for websites and the websites that you go to. Okay, so you probably use Google Chrome, or if you don't, give your head a shake. If you don't, what's wrong with you? If you okay, so if you don't, then fine. But I found this new browser, which actually is going to pay me crypto to only view their advertisements, and you can select which advertisement or how much advertisements you want per month or per session browsing. And it's called Brave Browser. So if you have the chance, then I recommend downloading it, because I honestly, some things I do use Google Chrome for, and it has my passwords and shit saved for, and sometimes I want to use the extensions in Google Chrome, but all things being fair and all things being equal, I would rather get paid to watch advertising. And now Brave has ad blockers built into the software, so that right now, as we speak, so I'm planning on getting a payout to my Uphold account on January 5th, 2022. So I was checking after a couple of days, and it was like 25 cents. So I'm interested to see what my how much BAT, how much basic, because that's what they pay in, basic attention token, which is not a bad token. It's a well-performing top 100 token. So they pay out in basic attention token at the 5th of the month. So I'm interested to see what my payment will be. But so far, after using Brave, I have. So it says it has 13,654 trackers and ads blocked, and 67.2 megabytes of bandwidth saved, and it has saved me 12 minutes of actual time. So it's not bad. Like, I'm probably gonna get paid like this plus my phone browsing. My guesstimates is that I'm probably going to get about 10, maybe 7 to 10 Brave tokens. I'm guessing. We'll see. Which is, I mean, it's a lot better than what fucking Google Chrome is paying you. And sometimes I need the extensions for Google Chrome, but I mean, it's not a, it's not a, it's not, well, oh yeah, I need to use Google Chrome. No. And if something is functionally similar to Google Chrome, but is paying me in crypto to use it, I'm gonna fucking use it. And you should too. So take that into consideration. Downloading Brave browser and turning on, connecting your Uphold wallet, and turning on high level of ads. And actually, that is how I found Jade Protocol, was through that. They were one of the advertisements on Brave browser. So that's initially how I found out about Jade Protocol, and I read their white paper, and I seen their mission statement. I'm just like, damn, that's kind of how I would do something. That's how kind of like, those are kind of like the tools I would use, and maybe it's a shot in the dark, but I'll buy a few of these. And so I bought like 20 fucking Jade. So we'll see where it goes. Right now we seem to, even though there was the fear of is the reverse of FOMO, the fear of selling out. There was that initial phase, and I actually regret not buying more Jade at fucking $22. for just like $100 or $200, I was like thinking, if it like kind of got down to $15 or $10 ranges, I would have had to buy some just to like. But I mean, the one guy was warning me. He's like saying, "Say, all these guys are saying it's rug pulls. All these guys are saying it's rug pulls." I'm just like, if it gets down lower, I'll buy more. And that's how you got to be. I mean, you have to have the courage in your convictions. Otherwise, why the fuck am I investing in it? I'm not here to shill you guys fucking shit coins that you're gonna fucking pump and dump. I'm here for the long run. I'm here for the good. Make you want to pass out, right? The next thing in the crypto world that tales from the crypto that we're going to talk about is this token called the Mimir token, MIMIR, and they are a quiz show token, where you do these tournaments, these trivia tournaments, and you get paid in Mimir and in Mimir tokens. And the token has only been around since November. It's been as high as $4 Canadian. Sorry for my American friends. You're gonna have to fucking break out the conversions. And so $3 American. And it's been as low right now as like 33 cents. But it's one of those things where, like, you know, if I'm playing games, I want to be getting paid in crypto. Why not? If I'm surfing the web, why not pay for advertisements? Why not have that? And that's going to be the future. That's going to be where crypto is going. And you know, resist it for as long as you want, but that's where the future is heading. And these companies, this is a Swedish-based company, Mimir, and they have all kinds of good tournaments where you sign up for, and they have like specific topics. Or sometimes I will see the topic and I'll just be like, okay, there's no way I'm gonna get Game of Thrones trivia night right, because, you know, I stopped watching movies with fire-breathing dragons in it when I was 6 years old, and I haven't looked back since. Regardless of how many penises or fucking throat slittings there are. So that one was not for me. But I'm like into Jeopardy and like quizzes and trivia. So I mean, why not? Why not jump on board? So this one quiz they had on New Year's on the 31st, which it was like a popular answer quiz where you had to type in the answer and you had to like guess the popular answer. And I was doing pretty good until it came to like guess what you think Mimir token would be, and guess what all-time high you think Mimir would hit in 2022. And I guessed $5, which was higher than its all-time high. And they haven't hit $5. So that was the number 2 response, which was 10% of the votes. The number 1 response was 100. Are you kidding me? I don't even think they have 100 million. They have 100 million total circulating. I don't even know if that's possible. But I mean, so. And so the people, with this popular answer, they just had 5 questions. There were only 2 people that got all 5 right, and they split a bag of 1,000 Mimir tokens, so they each got 500 Mimir each, which, let's do the math real quick. So even at its lowest, so 500 by 0. Let's say 33. So 500 by 0.33. So that's like it's like $200, close to $200 just for fucking participating in for getting like all the correct answers in the survey correct. So if you're any sort of trivia hound, if you're any sort of questions and answers, even if you just like games, then why not get paid to do the games? And okay, I've been going on for a while. It's been about an hour and 20 minutes. I'm going to finish off this podcast with the following. With the following PSA. We're going to finish off this podcast with one last little nudge from yours truly. Now, I get a lot of like making fun of and hate about NFTs, and I just think people don't understand the future of NFTs. And like, so a lot of people say you're paying $30,000 for like a pixelated image. Okay, we're still in the infancy of NFTs, but what NFTs are going to do is give artists their rights back and give artists the right to sell their product, not through like a record label and not through a record producer, and that they're going to be able to organize and distribute their art however they see fit. And you're saying, okay, if I buy a if I buy an NFT and you take a picture of it, then what's the difference? Well, the difference is that I have the codes, and if you're using that illegitimately, and I take you to court, I'm the one who has the codes. Okay, so you have the file illegitimately, and the entire copyright and the future of copyright and the future of independent production. If I were to create like an album, then I would want it in NFT form, and I would just sell it to people individually. And if they have that NFT, then they have the right to be able to use that music however they want. And you can section it. Just your possibilities are endless with how you want to distribute your art. If you want to distribute it where people have to buy the whole album in order to have that song, then you can have that written into the protocol. Or if you want it where people can, when your album contains 13 songs, each of them are a different NFT. And then each of them are for sale for 99 cents. And the only way to legally have that is, and you'll think about the future of personal property, and what is saying that if I steal your TV, that it wasn't mine. If you have the NFT, then that's the premise, and it's giving power back to the artist, and it's giving power back to the people who actually create the art, instead of the people who are producing the art and who are mass producing the art, the record labels, the constituents who are distributing it. And that's where people are getting it wrong. It's not just fucking JPEG images that you're selling. Like, it's the right to be able to reproduce these images, and that's where people are. While it is funny, I mean, you have to be able to strip what is humorous about it right now, and the implications for where it's going in the future, and giving artists freedom over their intellectual property. So that's kind of how we're going to wrap up here today. I just wanted to give a quick FU to those who are kind of scoffing at the concept of NFTs just based on where they are currently, and not looking forward to where they're going to be in the future. So I hope you guys had a good time. That is the end of this. I will see you guys in the new year. Look forward to more TWA2K and sections and segments, and let's have a great 2022. And that was The World According to Kyle podcast. Take care, y'all.